Well, good morning. This is the English Guy in Mexico. It's the 28th of February 2017, and this is where we stop tonight, in this little tiny casita. It's all naturally built, thatched roof, just enough room really to get a mattress into the middle of the floor on a pallet, a wooden pallet. There you go. There's an extra use for your wooden pallets. Pallet, a mattress, and a couple of sheets. There's a fan in here, but we didn't need it because we are right on the edges of the lake here. If I bend down, this is actually our view in the mornings when we get up. That is actually the lagoon, an interior lagoon just off the Caribbean, and it's absolutely beautiful. This morning it's nearly 9 o'clock, so if we just step down here, it's a small exclusive resort. A lot of hippie type people here, a lot of candles, driftwood collected, plants growing in old fruit boxes. They light all these candles at night. The guy goes round and there's hundreds and hundreds of candles all scattered around. So there's our neighbours just behind us. We are in cabana number 2. Neighbours are obviously cabana number 1. And then I think there's a few people stopping up in that main house. That's where the toilets are. And there's one shower for all of us. I think there's about 12 of us stopping here. I think this may be the owner's house, I'm not sure. I haven't seen anybody going in there. But literally you just step out of our cabana, straight down onto the deck here. Again, everything seems to be homemade, all the tables. Basically what they do is collect old bits of driftwood and sit around cutting it up. As I say, they're all vegetarians here, so I've had a strange breakfast, which was quite nice. It was oats that had been soaked overnight with a few pieces of banana, watermelon and natural cacao, or cocoa as we would call it. We're going out on a kayak in a second. We've just booked one of these little green kayaks. You want to get out early here on the Caribbean because the problem is the wind tends to get up in the afternoon as the land heats up. It's quite peaceful here in the morning, but we've just booked one of those and we're going to go out. Last night I noticed there were people sat around here playing small bongo drums to the moon. They all sit around this little fire pit and make incantations and pray to whatever animist gods they believe in. But it truly is beautiful. I mean, just look at the water here. Absolutely clear. It's beautiful. So yeah, we got into the southeastern tip of Mexico a couple of days ago, and basically what we've done is just hop along the coast here, along various hotels, but we quite liked this one, so we like these hammocks. And we spent a couple of hours lounging around in here yesterday. I haven't gone the total vegan route because I found some cheap beer up the road yesterday. They don't sell beer here, but you're allowed to go up the road and collect your own beer and bring it back. And tonight we've booked in for a full 5-course vegetarian dinner. So I'm not sure if I'll stay vegetarian, but I like to try different things. Beautiful. People just sit around, bits of driftwood they collect. They seem to make quite a lot of furniture here out of pallets, and it seems to work. Even broken old chairs I've noticed up in reception, they have renovated with bits of pallet wood and pieces of tree. I mean, this is a clothes dryer. Basically they don't want you taking your wet clothes in, so they just lash a few pieces of wood together and you hang your clothes on here. I think that's Miriam's over there from yesterday. It was still a bit damp. steps are made out of old pieces of wood, look, and you just walk up here, and there's quite a long walk actually up to the road. Cabana number 1, as I said. Everything seems to be totally natural. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Seems to be run by a couple of young guys who have adopted the hippie lifestyle, and it seems to be working. They've got all these little shrines everywhere, which is very strange. Little tiny houses made out of, I mean, that one's an old fish tank by the look of it. So it was quite pleasant, nice and different. As I say, I think this is our 3rd night down here, but the 2nd night here, because I quite like it. Look, old fruit boxes, candles everywhere. Bits of wood. Another little area here. This is, I noticed they've jokingly called this the theatre. I think they sit around playing music in here. Cinema Lulu. Look at that. Tonight on Cinema Lulu, lights on, show on. Starts at 8. Now on stage in Bacalar. Open mic. They just like having a bit of fun. An old dressing table outside with all little knickknacks and plants growing all over it. Beautiful. Some of these trees are truly beautiful. Look at this tree. I mean, that's 60, 70, 80, that's probably 100 feet high. And that is the reception up there. I think Miriam's up there chatting away. She likes talking to people. She's found a couple of guests who've also booked in yesterday, and she's chatting away to them. And up there is the reception. That's where we'll be having our vegetarian meal tomorrow. And quickly, before I run out of my 7-minute time constraint on this camera, look. Candles again. People just sit around, lit candles at night. Everybody seems to play an instrument here. There's guitars and flutes, drums, and they all sit around here at night. Beautiful. Just one shared toilet, which is in there, and one shower. You only get hot water here after 7 o'clock at night, and I think it works. Look, recycle all your things: plastic, paper, aluminium, glass. Beautiful. Well, this is the English guy in Mexico, right on the very southeastern tip of Mexico. It took us almost 24 hours of travelling to get there, but we're here. Bye for now. Well, good morning. It's the English guy in Mexico. 26th, 27th, I lose track of time. 27th of February 2017. We've actually stopped here at the Posada Lulu, a la Bruja. Not sure what that means. But it's obviously something like Lulu's house or Lulu's hotel, motel, whatever. This is the reception. This is actually the main road just outside. It's quite a quiet main road here because we're up on the lakeside at Bacalar, which is right on the southeastern tip of the Yucatan, Mexico. And in terms of where I live in northern Mexico, it's 6-hour bus ride down to the, no sorry, it's an 8-hour bus ride down to the main airport. Then obviously your flight and various taxis and little buses, chicken buses, whatever, to get here. There's a couple of ways to get here, but altogether it's took me about 24 hours of travelling to get down here, with stopping and waiting for connections. But here we are. This is the reception at Posada Lulu. It's basically a vegetarian hotel or motel or hostel. It appears to be, everybody seems to share everything. There's a fridge that you can put all your stuff in, and everybody shares the same fridge. I've never been to a vegetarian hostel before. This road actually goes down into Bacalar centre. It's not a big town, it's quite a small place. It's not been It's nothing like Playa del Carmen that we stopped in on the way down. Playa del Carmen now is ridiculously expensive. It's full of huge hotels. All the multinationals have moved in. What happens is the further sort of south you go, you get away from all the masses and masses of tourists, and you end up finding these sort of hippie type places where people are just sat on the side of the lake. I'll put another video up showing the lakeside. This whole thing goes down to the lake, which is about 50 feet below us. So this thing runs down in stages. This is the reception. I think the prices here were about 780 pesos a night. It's about 500 pesos a night in the town centre in just a basic bed and breakfast. This is 780 because you're on the side of the lake. This is the reception here. Miriam's chatting away again. Say hello. Say good morning, Miriam.
Hola, buenos días. Unos amigos que vienen de Francia, pero son de Colombia.
So this is the actual reception here. As you can see, it's all... They collect bits and bobs and old fruit. These are all fruit trays. They collect them up and fill them with plants and candles. Old bits of crockery. I don't know what they're selling here. They're selling cocoa, cream of something, arrowlete. They appear to make all their own honey. I've noticed that they make their own vinegar. I've seen them doing that. They collect all pieces of wood. These are your tables, which is basically a tree trunk that's been sawn in half. All the tables are kind of deliberately mismatched. They basically just get some bits of wood and nail them all together, and it seems to work. Everything's natural. And just look at that light. It's basically bits of driftwood all tied together, hung with ropes from the ceiling, and they hang a few light bulbs in it. This is your main reception, look. Beautiful. Just a slight difference from these big hotels that you tend to find when you go into places like Playa. And I'll very briefly walk down here and show you their toilet. There's only 2 toilets in the place for about 12 guests. This is just an outdoor toilet that's made out of thatch. It's just all, it's obviously a concrete base, and the rest of it is basically all thatched. And you basically just go in, you open up the thatch, and there's your toilet. Beautiful. Very, very nice. And 2 minutes left on this piece of tape. I'll walk you down and show you what the main attraction is in Bacalar, which is the lakefront. Basically all these properties are private. They've all been bought up over the years by mega rich people. I mean, the place we went out for dinner last night, we're actually having a vegetarian dinner tonight here, but they weren't cooking last night. So we walked along the road and we literally found an incredibly wealthy looking hotel, and we had dinner there. Not too expensive, but actually to stop there was something like 2,100 pesos, which is about 80 English pounds per night, whereas this is about a third of the price. That's actually our little house. Miriam and I are stopping in there. It's basically just a raised cabin off the ground with electricity inside, loads and loads of mosquito netting, a wooden pallet on the floor with a bed on it. So that's our little house. As you see, just a pallet with a bed on it, and you just slide the mosquito netting closed. Hang our clothes on here. There's all bits of wood hanging around where you're supposed to put your clothes. This is the lakefront. This is what everybody's after here. It's incredibly clear water. Almost fresh water. It's not quite fully fresh. The Caribbean is just on the horizon, but this indoor lagoon is naturally fed by springs, which the Mayans discovered many years ago. So they built lots and lots of temples around this area because the water was so pure. It's got fish in it. They did all their fishing here, and you can walk out. You'll see pretty much everybody along here has got their own jetty. lot of rich people here. This is the guy next door. It's beautiful. All the way along this lake, it's something like 50 kilometres long. So you've got 50 kilometres of mostly private housing with these occasional little private entrepreneurs who've bought a tiny piece of land. It's not very wide if you look at it, but they put a jetty on, they put a few boats on the side to rent, and you sit all day here in your hammock